Yo, welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Ryan, and this is Comic Book 101, where we go through the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the oh my gods of the indie comic book space. And I go through my blunders, I go through my mistakes, and I go through all of them so you don't have to. So, with that being said, let's get into the show. Inspiration. You know, a lot of times I get asked about inspiration. It's like, how do you find inspiration to continually write stories? How do you find inspiration to continue to put out work even when it seems like nobody cares? Nobody's messing with your work. It might feel that way, my friends, my family now, because you've been with me for all these episodes. It may feel that way, but the reason and the way that I find inspiration is just through my mindset. I find inspiration to continue to work, one, not just because of my mindset, but also because I genuinely enjoy what I do. All right. See, what you got to understand about me is that prior to me being in this comic book space and in this creative space, I was really a working class, money chasing, rat race kind of guy. So you got to understand, coming from that, right? Coming from that rat race, that just work all the time mentality, to a space where I'm free and able to create, this is heaven for me, right? And I think I've said this in another episode. I generally have the mindset that says, no matter, let's say if nobody in the world ever reads any comic that I create, if nobody in the world ever says, hey, this is good, or even knows that I made it, I will continue to make comic books. Why? Because comic books generally, actually, essentially saved my life, honestly and truthfully. So, and that doesn't mean that I'm BSing with it. Obviously, when I do things, I want to do them to the highest quality. That's just a given. That's just how it goes. It comes with the territory, right? That don't mean I'm playing around with it. That just means that, listen, mentally, I don't tie my self-worth to what other people say, what other people do, what other people think. So, as far as inspiration goes, I find that in a few places. One of the places early when I first was looking for inspiration and trying to figure out things and how to, get my work out there and get my work together, I would find that through other stuff. I found a lot of inspiration for my comics and for the anime that I was writing in the very beginning. I found a lot of inspiration from anime. Anime, the storytelling in anime is amazing. They tell stories so good, and it's like almost textbook. A lot of times anime is just like textbook with their storytelling, and it's a good way to figure out how to tell a story, how to build up a character. Like anime is, I feel like that's the number one place that I would send people to find inspiration to write and develop stories and develop characters, develop worlds, because I feel like anime does that very well. So anime is one place where I find inspiration. I also find inspiration from movies. I find inspiration from actual life. I go outside, I touch grass. I go outside, I experience some things, things happen, and sometimes, it spurs off into an idea that I can have. Other times when I'm working on stuff, not even just an event has to happen. Sometimes for me, it's weird because sometimes just walking, like if I'm walking or if I'm moving, I feel like my mind flows better, my ideas flow better, and I get better ideas when I'm out and about. Like prior, a long time ago, when I used to make music and I used to make raps and things like that, I would make a lot of my raps, I would write them on the train because I was on the go, I was on the move, and for some reason on the train in writing, it just, I don't know, it spurred something in me. So a lot of times when I would commute to work or I would commute to school, I would always write on the bus or on the train or both, or pretty much my entire way there. I would write. And for me, moving is, I don't know what it does for me. I don't know why it works out that way, but moving honestly gives me a burst of inspiration. So taking walks, going outside is another place I find inspiration. I find inspiration from film, like I said before. I look at the way that certain films tell stories. I look at how certain films present present the content. Like I just recently seen John Wick, the newest John Wick movie, and I mean that movie was beautifully shot. Like, and I think it's because I'm in this space that I'm paying more attention to that type of stuff, because I don't think I used to pay attention to that as much as I do nowadays. That movie was beautifully shot, man. From the scenes, like there were things that I think as a casual watcher that I just would overlook in many films that I watched in the past, that I just noticed nowadays. Like the colors that they use within the scene. It's just like there's so much, and I really take inspiration from that, and I try to put that in my comics as much as I can, because I feel like it's great stuff. Yeah, so film is another very, 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 very big influence on my stuff. But consuming other things as well, for me anyway, is a double-edged sword. For a while in the beginning, when I first started making comics and I first started writing, I would try my best. I would try my damnedest to like not consume anything like within my realm. I would try so hard to not consume it, because I felt like it would influence me, and it would make me do something cliche or do something that has already been done. And it came back to bite me, because at the end of the day, I did that, and I wrote some stuff, and I remember telling my cousin about something that I wrote. And he's like, yeah, I seen that in another anime. And I'm like, he's like, you copying this anime? And I'm like, what? No, I haven't watched anime in like forever. I haven't watched anything because I'm writing. And still, even while not consuming, I still was able to come up with something that was similar to something that somebody else came up with. And I'm trying my hardest to not consume so I could avoid that. So with that being said, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So don't be afraid to watch stuff. Don't be afraid to look at other things. Don't be afraid to see what's out there, to see what other people have done and use it for inspiration. Now, you're not gonna go and watch your favorite anime and just rip it and just rip every single element of it and put it in something that you've done. Like, you're not gonna plagiarize or anything like that. But at the same time, like, take inspiration. Look at how they do things and put your own twist on it. If you like the way that they built up a character, you can do the same with your character, but put your own twist on it. Put your own twist into things, because you can take two people and give them the same prompt, and they're going to come out with totally different things, no matter what. So it matters. It matters what you're using as an influence. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. It matters what you're using as an influence. It matters how you use whatever you're using as an influence. But at the same time, as long as you're putting your own twist on these things, as long as you're creating something that is 100% you, then there's not an issue with consuming other content to create your work. And that is my little 2 cents on that area. I find inspiration from life. I find inspiration also from philosophies, the ways that old philosophers would think about life. Those a lot of philosophies and a lot of teachings of some philosophers are actually how I come up with some of my work, how I come up with some of the themes of my work as well. Inspiration can literally, what I'm trying to say is that inspiration can come from anywhere, man. Inspiration can come from the smallest thing. You could sit outside and feel the breeze, and that could just inspire you to write like a whole epic saga. Just based on that. Just based on how you feel. You're conveying a feeling, and that's very important in writing and just in entertainment in general. You want to make somebody feel something. And because everything is so oversaturated nowadays, it's getting harder and harder to make people feel something when it comes down to entertainment and entertaining people and putting out work. So if you're able to make someone feel something, then you're on the right track. And a lot of times, being able to make somebody feel something is based on you actually being able to feel something yourself. So, when you feel what you're writing, when you feel the topic, or when you feel the theme that you are trying to put inside of your work, or if you just feel the mood that you're trying to convey within your work, then you're on the right track. So inspiration can come from absolutely anywhere. There are a million places that you can go find inspiration, but you have to do what's best for you and do what pertains to you, right? I'm not going to tell you where to go to find inspiration. I can't tell you exactly where to go to find something that will inspire you. I think inspiration is actually a personal journey. It's more of a personal journey than anything. Inspiration is about you in the world and what moves you in the world. That is what inspiration is, and that's what inspiration comes from. So those were just some examples of how I get inspiration, how I, feel inspired. And on the flip side, whenever things feel tough and things feel like, slow, or I feel like I'm not making as much progress as I should be, and I'm not inspired to continue or write or put something else out or do something new, I do the I get to formula or the I get to mindset. So I heard this a while back, and I forgot who said it, but he said to change I have to I get to, and watch how your outlook change. So when you don't feel like doing something, or you feel like not inspired to do something, you should tell yourself I get to. So if you don't want to write, you wouldn't say I have to write. You should let yourself know that I get to write every single day. I get to write comic books. Or I don't feel like brainstorming. Or tell yourself I get to brainstorm today, every day. Because honestly and truthfully, when you think about this life, and when you think about creativity and having the space and the peace of mind and the freedom of mind to be able to do something creative, that's a luxury, man. Believe it or not, it is a luxury. Like there are people that work day to day, like I used to, out there just straight hustling all day, every day, that wish, hey, I wish I could go paint a picture. I wish I could go do something creative with myself instead of sitting in his office, or instead of sitting at this job, or instead of sitting at this place where I really don't want to be right now. There are people all over the world that don't want to be where they are, and there are people in those positions that want to be doing something creative. So understand that, like, this is a luxury, man. So don't take it for granted. Do it from the heart. Keep it real with yourself. Keep it real with the world, and create the best work that you possibly can. Because, there are people that wish that they could, or there are people that lack the talent that you have, that wish that they had enough talent to sit there and be able to create something like what you create. So it's really, your mindset is very important when it comes to inspiration. When it comes to this business, period. When it comes to anything, your mindset is so important. Your mindset is ridiculously important when it comes to what you create, what you make, and what you put out in the world. So you got to protect that at all costs. And you don't let people put you down, man. Don't let people tell you that what you're doing is less than, or is not worth, or is not as good as is not as good enough. Nobody can tell you that, man. Nobody. All right. You have to believe in your heart and what you're doing. You have to believe in your heart and yourself. And then from there, nobody can touch you. Nobody can take away what you have inside of you, as long as you protect your peace, you protect your state of mind at all times. So that's it for this episode, man. It's really short. I think that was short. I don't know. Was I rambling? I can't really tell. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Inspiration can come from anywhere, but it's up to you to find it. It's up to you to find the things that move you in life, and translate those things into your work, and then move somebody else in the world, and move a group of people, move the world itself. And but at least it should start within. It should start with you, and it should really move you, and it should really make you feel something at the end of the day. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope that you got some good information from this. I hope this really was valuable to you, and if it was, consider subscribing, consider showing me some love, showing me some likes, doing all that algorithm stuff, that stuff that makes stuff do what it do, so I can reach more people, so I can inspire more people, and so I could present more people. Sorry, I'm like stuttering. So I could present more people with the world of indie comics and just creative lifestyle in general. So thank you very much, and peace out. Later.